So let's clarify a couple things because people are still getting used to stuff. Math has two different grading categories. So those of you that I just read your names, take a breath, you're totally fine. I start the year grading easy, and then we ramp up and get more serious. So your practice that you turned in, all I was checking was, did you do it? And I was reading your writing about yourself, and that was awesome. I love getting to know you guys. Did you know we have a student here who has a miniature potbelly pig? Did you know we have a student here, not necessarily in this class, but here in the 7th grade, that owns horses? We actually have multiple students who own horses. Did you know that we have students here who have traveled internationally already in their lives? Like, there's so much cool stuff about you guys. But as we move forward, headers are going to matter. Formatting is going to matter. Having name, date, letter group, that's going to matter. Right now, I was forgiving on those things. If you missed it last week, it's okay. 111 I collected on its own, and pretty much everybody turned that in. Then we had 112, 114, and then another 112, but that was from CC3. It was Monday. Like, I had not collected that 114, so we did do two different 114s. So you were then you should label on your paper what. I'll show you what numbers it is. It's this 114, 35 to 39. That's the first one. So, I collect homework essentially on Fridays, which somebody made the comment yesterday, like that's really nice because say you have like a busy week, you really have until Friday to get your work done. Now that doesn't mean wait to do your work till Thursday. That's a very bad plan. Especially because then, if you realize Thursday night you didn't quite get it, and I do a homework mastery, which means like mastery questions from the homework, that will not be good if you just Thursday night figured out what you don't know how to do. So, this time of grading, can I have everyone just eyes up here so I know like we're paying attention? There's two columns in math. There's academic, and there's effort. Academic is like standards-based. It's up against like what do you need to know mathematically. Effort is did you format it correctly? Does it look like it's been through a blender? Is it high quality work? Does it have the header on it that I asked for? Did you turn it in on time? Did you turn in all the assignments that were supposed to be turned in? Like those sort of things go in with like the effort of the quality of your work. But we at Phoenix do not let that pull down your academic grade, because your academic grade should just be what do you know? Like, did you know the material, but you turned it in late? My preference, do not turn in partial work. If you know your work isn't done and it's not up to the level where it should be, keep it till it is. Brandon, thanks. I asked everyone to be looking up here at me, and I know I have cool posters, but later. So, as we collect homework, like tomorrow, I'm collecting CC3 114, and then you see the arrow, same as Math 7, the 1.2.1, yesterday's homework, and then same as Math 7 again, today, 122, 70, 74. Those three are getting collected tomorrow, and I'll give you back last week's homework. So, if you turn stuff in late, normally your effort grade will be showing a timeliness. If you turn stuff in late, this time, I did not mark any timelinesses, and you'll learn more about how that impacts your math, but that has like a lasting impact. When your effort grade gets dinged, it takes you time to recover that and show like, oh, you are actually like turning stuff in on time now, as opposed to continually turning stuff in late. You'll understand more of that as we do more with math, but I did not mark any effort grades this time. All of those just went in as like empty, fine, it's okay. So effort is only negative. So if effort is empty, it's assumedly positive. If effort gets marked, it's something negative. Go ahead.
I just turned in 30.
You're making my life harder. So I will figure out that you turned in too much. I'll rip it off of what I actually want graded, and I'll just stick the other ones back in my bin, or I'll give it to you Monday and say staple this with your other work. But I got nothing to do with that right now, because I'm not like grading those assignments yet. You know what I mean? So, and like I'll try to grade your stuff during AO or whatever, so I can get that back to you. Sorry, I said Monday, but tomorrow when we collect the other homework. and this is why I don't collect anything early and don't let you turn stuff in until I request it. I know what I'm checking when I'm checking it. If I'm checking this week's work and you turn in next week's work because you worked ahead, like that's going to confuse me and I got nothing to do with it. Like I'm making notes about only certain assignments. Okay, like I keep notes and then I pass those on to Mr. Hall of like, oh yeah, their work was really sloppy, but they did it. Or like this work was amazing. It was like columned and sectioned out. And I seriously wrote that on a couple of people's work. I will be honest with you guys. You guys had more issues with turning your stuff in than Math 7, which I know we had really weird classes a couple of days. But I'm hoping we get in like a good swing of things, especially quality of work. Some of you guys, I think, are just kind of putting in minimum effort. Remember, we're in the advanced class. We put in more than the minimum effort. Like, we're in here because we want to be in here. If anybody is thinking about this, and a couple of you guys wrote like you're a bit nervous about being on the accelerator track, nobody has to stay in this class. So if you get overwhelmed or too much going on or whatever else, come talk to me. We'll work with you. We can always step you back down to the other class. Yesterday, we were doing our lesson about probability, and we ended right about here, when Savannah had told us that we should probably break our spinner up into 10 pieces. So please get out yesterday's notes. We can just continue on that same sheet. Yes. Just grab a sheet of graph paper. So always the videos will be posted, so class is up on YouTube. So if you want to see what you missed yesterday, you can watch that. Or you can copy somebody's notes and they can kind of fill you in. When is YouTube very often down? Really? You have a firewall? So you might want to chat with your parents about why YouTube has issues at your house. It might be, well, so if it's an internet thing, you can borrow a computer from school. But like YouTube, the server itself is pretty normally operational. So that's where I house things. It's too much work for me to put things there and in Schoology and other places. So maybe we need to chat and figure out a good solution for you. Because you can borrow a laptop from school that has its own internet and its own like setup and everything. Are we done making our spinner? No. I know we only had a few minutes at the end. So here's my challenge for you guys. Finish up with your group making your spinner, and you can color it and everything else if you want. I think probably some of my morning class, I don't know if they put them back or not, but colored pencils ended up over here. I don't know where they put them. There should be like boxes of colored pencils potentially spread out still at some of the groups. If you want to color it in, but then work with your group to answer questions A through E. And E especially, I kind of breezed over that last class and I realized I'm probably going to have to go back and talk to them about that. That's an OR. They don't care red or blue. They like both. What's the difference between an OR question? So I'll give you probably 5 minutes because there's 5 questions there and everything else. Yeah, dive into that. Oh, sorry, last announcement. These papers sticking out forward mean they're ready to be like turned back to you guys. If you're turning stuff in, like all the people that just turned stuff in, turn it in sideways, like with the bin, so I recognize that it's new. So this stuff sticking out means I gotta pass it back. This stuff means I gotta grade it. Okay, thank you. It's just my like little system. Blue, red, yellow, green. And of course you could use like orange instead of red or whatever.
I have colored pencils. What should we do first? I don't think we're supposed to do well, no, what I don't think we're supposed to be doing is just like writing special text on like if it's on green, we can use just pen. I have colored pencils. I don't think it matters. Where you put the colors, I don't think it matters. It might matter. But I'm not. I just did it like that. I just did it like this. Well, there's my L. Biohazard, so. I saw this fucking thing. No, you have to. You want them back? I mean, I'll
No. Not good. Yeah. So honestly, I think most people just forgot to turn in the 242. Because most, like, Sophia spelled my name Hutsin. That's funny.
That's cool.
She was guessing based off how it sounds. Now I say it. A lot of times I don't have a hard D. It's Hudson, not Hudson. But if we break it up into 10 wedges or slices or triangles, not quite triangles by the way, because we're in a circle. How many wedges would red get? Out of? Yeah. And then anybody. What about blue? What about yellow? Oh, well, that's told to us. And then green. Ooh, 2 out of 10 because there are 2 left over. So then. And now we'll use cards. Braylon, what is the most likely color to be spun? Obviously red because it covers the most amount of the circle. Which color is least likely, Micah?
Yellow, because it's only 10%.
Yellow, it only gets 10%. Quinn, what about when we go to write this properly? We want to write down another couple examples. Make sure that we remember how to write these probabilities. How do you write out, let's say, like the statement, the probability of red is 3/10. How do you write that?
P parentheses, red or something like that.
Yeah, P parentheses. So everybody on your paper, please. Sorry to interrupt you, but I want to make sure everyone's doing this. P parentheses, red equals, then your fraction. Lizzie, what's the probability of purple?
Mr. Hudson, it's 4/10. Not.
Sorry. Good catch. I looked over at the wrong fraction. And then 4/10. What can we do with 4/10? Anybody? What can we do with 4/10? Marin. Brain, stop. My brain like has this moment when I go to say your name that it just goes back and forth. What can we do? Yeah, but we don't like percents. Well, not that we don't like them, but. So it could be 40%. What else could I do with this fraction, Connor?
Make it 2/5.
Yeah, reduce, right? We can reduce the fractions.
I did that and I made it a full circle.
Lizzie, right? Yeah, that's what I thought, but like I'm not confident yet. Lizzie, what's the probability of purple? No, what's the probability of purple? 0! Purple doesn't exist, right? So we can talk about things that don't exist. Probability is just 0. Chloe. Sorry, I was just looking for the hair. I know who you are. Chloe, what about red or blue? Yeah, if it's an or situation, we add the probabilities, making here 70%. Any questions on any of this?
Slow down.
It's because you're spending all your time coloring. Anybody who wants me to slow down because you've been coloring. And all of this is fine. We just want to have a conversation. Are you ready for a mystery?
I like this.
First, I need someone to read. If you want to. Lauren, go ahead. Marin, I need to say your name like 1,000 times while looking at you.
Have you ever tried to predict which football team will win a big game? If so, you probably did not just pick the team with the coolest colors or the neatest mascot. You may have based your pick on statistics about win-loss records, player injuries, and other data. Knowing what has happened in the past can sometimes help you predict what will happen in the future. In this lesson, we will use the data to make predictions.
Go ahead and do those questions if you want.
As you work with your team to uncover a mystery spinner, keep the questions below in mind. What is the probability or likelihood? What do we expect to happen? How does the actual event compare to our prediction? What can we know for sure?
Solid. So, everybody draw a squiggly or something in your notes. Label that we're now in 122. Just so you know that we've switched lessons or whatever. And then number 63. Number 63. Now that is our mystery spinner.
Oh.
Right, very mysterious because right now we're seeing the dog view. Just gray. My dogs see in like gray scale. They can only see grays. So every color is just gray to them. Yeah. But I mean, they see the difference between the colors, but it's all just grays. Like shades of grays. So we are going to act as statisticians, and we're going to collect some data. Okay, I have to stay over here because my smartboard will only work for like a couple clicks. So sorry, I hate being like off to the side. So we're going to have a couple different colors here. We might as well just keep a tally mark. So as we have a color, my advice to your notes, I think I'll tell you purple is one of the colors. So you can just write like purple, and then under it keep a tally of like how many we get. You know what I mean with tally marks. So just go ahead and make a purple right now.
I finished the first.
Purple is one of them. That's all I'm going to tell you right now. So if our spinner was like this, what would be our probability of purple? That, this? This is purple, by the way, for my color deficient people. 20%, right? But we can see that. We know that. So that is what type of probability? Since I didn't try it, you just told me. You looked at it and told me. Quinn?
That is not experimental.
Not experimental. It's, you remember it?
Theoretical.
Theoretical. So us saying 20% here is theoretical. We're about to determine the experimental, right? We're about to do it. So spin one. Purple. I told you purple's a color. Well, I mean, of course it's a color. That's like when kids are like, oh, there's a back to this paper. There's always a back to the paper. It's just whether or not there's something printed on it. Spin two. Orange. Well, I know. It's the... Yeah. Spin 3. Purple.
No, seriously, how'd you do that?
Spin 4. Green. So we know we got at least 3 colors now.
That's the same.
Spin 5. Purple. Spin 6. Green.
Mm.
Spin 7. Orange. Got a friend's mom who said orange. I never understood that. Was that 7 or was that 6? No, 7. Okay, so spin 8. Green.
I am thinking this is my favorite.
And are we satisfied? Should we stop? Keep going. Now hold on. Who can tell me a strategy that you might implement here? Mallory? Go to 10 so we could have that. So we're at 8, right? Because 10 could easily turn into percents or whatever else. Spin 9, purple. Spin 10, purple. Now, how many purples did you get?
5.
How many oranges?
2.
How many greens?
3.
So if we do percentages, we're rocking like 50, 30, 20. How well do you trust that?
Not much. I want to sit with my
What if we do 10 more? Do you think we'll get 50, 30, 20 again? Let's try again. Drop down a line or something. Make it separate that we're running a new set of trials. New set. Spin 1, purple. Spin 2, purple. Spin 3, orange. Spin 4, purple. Spin 5, green. Spin 6, purple. Spin 7, green. Spin 8, green. Spin 9, purple. Spin 10, purple. Now wait a minute. Would we rather have 2 smaller trials or just put them together and have one bigger? So I heard somebody say one bigger. Can anyone give me a reason why we might do that? I already talked to Connor a lot. Anyone new? What if I did 3 spins of the spinner? Do you think that would be and I got like purple, orange, green. Yay! Spinner's in 3 pieces. It's even.
You don't know unless we see it.
So do you think 10 spins would be more accurate than 3 spins?
Yes.
Do you think 20 spins would be more accurate than 10 spins?
Yes.
So merge the first 10 and the second 10. How many total purple? 11. How many total green?
6.
How many total orange?
3.
At your group, you should only need like a minute or 2. Figure out the percents of each color and then sketch a quick spinner. Your prediction of what this spinner looks like. Then I'm going to show you what it actually looks like. If you can do it quickly. You can't spend all the class to color.
But I like color.
I know. Everyone knows.
I want some colors like and then you have a small green force.
Debating what to skip.
They want to skip.
Sometimes things are just more fun if you sing them.
We want some colors. I got some nice juicy colors here. I got colors.
trying to be patient. I know you guys need time to write and draw. I know some of us are still coloring in, but do we have our sketch drawn? Okay, I heard some no's. I'll wait. By the way, did I announce everyone needs to bring any math books that you have to class? So whether you have the CC2 or CC3, we will be covering them tomorrow. The paper cover that then you guys can decorate. If I have enough bags, we'll be covering both, a Math 7 and a Math 8 book. Some of you don't have both yet. I'm waiting for more books to arrive, so we're making do until then. So some of you have books assigned, some of you have just been borrowing books. That's okay. Either way is okay. We will just cover what we can tomorrow. You ready to see it?
No.
Oh.
Wait.
Uprising. Did we do the probability line yesterday from 0 to 1?
No.
Dang. I got a lot to cover. Alright, I'm going to start drawing that then while you guys are still drawing your spinners.
Well, there's a probability line on homework.
I know, but I wanted to make sure we review that so that like the homework is manageable. Because some kids were asking me about it, so I know that not everyone is like comfortable on it.
It wasn't hard.
I haven't got that. I spent my entire time yesterday looking, finding a problem.
Now, one big thing that I want to make sure we're all aware of, and I think a lot of us probably are, but there's a saying that a lot of humans use, like regardless of where you live, that means the chance is as equal to happen as it is to not happen. What is that little saying? It's just, really, it's very brief. Somebody says like, oh yeah, it's a blank shot, or blank chance. Like, all those teams are equally matched. It's probably it's a 50-50 chance. A 50-50 chance means you've got 50% chance of the outcome being successful, 50% chance of it not. As equally likely. Kind of like Ohio's winter, right? 50% chance we'll actually have a winter. 50% chance we're going to like walk around in shorts in January.
Yay!
So then out here, and you don't have to copy this down if you did it in your homework and it makes sense, but if you had any issues, I'd probably jot this down in your notes.
No, I'm not going to jot it down.
Mike, you?
I'm just taking things right.
I know you're playing with gravity, which is cool, because, physics is fun, but I like to say
I
physics is
love
fun, but spell fun with PH like physics. Physics at Phoenix is fun. Alright, down here, what chance would be right between your 50% and your 0? But probability, what do we say, Marley? So we don't actually want to say percent, because in probability we're talking 25 out of 100, which reduces, George. This is like a fourth down here, right? So anything like an eighth, a fifth, a tenth, any of those real small fractions are going to be down here. But the bigger fractions, like yesterday we talked about 8 over 7, but if we have like 7/8, that's almost 1.
Oliver Michael to the office, please. So
then the other words we use down here in this range between the 50-50 and impossible is unlikely. And or up here, what do you think we use? Likely. Sorry, not likely.
I
can squeeze
that.
it.
That has a likely chance of that actually working.
Unlikely and likely. So verbally, if we're not giving math, and we're just telling somebody with words, chance of something happening, oh, it's unlikely that it will rain today. It's likely we will go get pizza. It's like, I wish. I'm sorry.
You can't lie to a liar.
I got pizza it's likely that I'll have my leftover pizza for lunch today. All right, time to show you the spinner.
You are lying.
Ready?
Yeah.
Should we drum roll?
Drum roll, please.
this work, Luke? All right, here we go. Your mystery spinner actually... Oh, I closed it. It actually looks like this. Now, hold up. Hold up. Is this exactly what you had?
Yes.
If so, you got lucky. So, were you saying yes or no? Yeah, it's exactly what you guys had? That's awesome. Anyone slightly off? So, can anyone talk about what's dangerous? And you might not know, which is why I'm here, why I have a job. What's dangerous about making the math match what we saw happen? Like, we made our spinner based off results that we got. What's dangerous about that? I really need to use cards. Sorry. Olivia, do you have any thoughts on this? No? Opie, you got any thoughts on what's dangerous about making our spinner based off what happened? Sorry, what was that? It could not be true, or it might not be true. Yeah, it might not be accurate. What if we stopped at those 10 spins? Would our spinner look like it does right now? Like what you made? We changed, right? Between our 10 spins, I think we had more than 50% of purple. I think we had like 6 out of the 10 or something like that. But now that we added more on, it got better. Brayden, you got your hand up. What thoughts do you have on here?
Oh, I was just saying that you're not going to know specifically because it's not going to roll the same percent each time, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's always going to have, like, one that's either, like, lucky, kind of, like, where it's, like, kind of,
Yeah.
it's like,
What you're describing, there's a law that goes with what you're describing, actually. So, what could we do? Question back to get us there. What could we do to help make our prediction better? And we already kind of talked about this. Do more experiments. All right, pencils down. Give me your eyes for a second. There is, Quinn, you know what I mean. There is a law in mathematics called the law of large numbers. And what that means is if we are running experiments with unknown outcomes, like probability, the more we do, the closer we get to the actual. So, like what Brayden was saying, if I roll a die 4 times, do you think my probability will be accurate? Absolutely not. I have 6 sides on the die. There's no way to get accurate probability if I only roll it 4 times. No chance. Can't even get every outcome. You think if I roll it 12, it'll be better? Yeah. You think if I roll it 120 times, it'll be better? Yeah. The more I do, and you can try this. I had a student challenge me one time with flipping a coin. If I flip a coin 3 times, will I get 50% and 50%? No, it's impossible. Because my experiment, I kind of ran wrong. So this student went home, and he flipped a coin like 300 times, or something like ridiculous. Because he was just bored. He wanted to try to prove me wrong. And he was it's hard to describe. He was kind of like mind blown because he wanted it to come out wrong, and it did for a little bit. As he only had 40 or 50 or 60, there was more heads than tails, or But then as he got to 100 and 150 and 200, the count of heads versus tails was almost identical. And that's the law of large numbers. Is you might see something atypical meaning not what you think, in small amounts of trials, but as you do more trials, you get closer to the accurate. All in all, though, big picture, experimental probability is dangerous because it's based off what we did. So you got to run a lot of trials to make it safer and closer to accurate. So that's the law of large numbers. Yes?
Yeah, because isn't it dangerous, like, okay, we're building something,
you don't have like the right planning and stuff. Like you're building a bridge, and they're like off,
Yeah.
like off of it when you come, two ends come near each other, they're like this instead of.
Yeah. So a bridge, hopefully, is not like an experiment in probability. Hopefully, it's an execution of engineering. You know what I mean? So we would do the probability sort of tests in like a lab or somewhere safe. And then hopefully when you go out actually in the field, you would have all the tests done and you would know exactly what to do. Yeah, but I like your thought process. We're going to skip that. Gonna skip that. Gonna skip this. Alright, based off our math. And this is where we're going to start to stretch what we know. If we were to spin our spinner 6 times, or 48 times, or 100 times, what do we predict the results would be? So, let me explain this. Essentially what I want from you is if we spin the spinner 6 times, would we anticipate our results to be 2 purple, 2 orange, and 2 green? I hope you're thinking no right now. So what would we actually predict based off our experiment? Actually, we can go ahead and say, forget the experiment. Let's say based off the actual exact spinner. So what is purple's percent here? 50%, right? Or 0.5 if we wanted to write it as a decimal, or 1/2 if we want to write it as a fraction. What's green's percent here? OP? Not yeah, this is 25, so we're at least 30 probably. Well, 45 would be way over here, and it would make orange that small. My gut is kind of telling me if I compare this wedge to this wedge, this one might be like 10% and this one's 15, right? Because this section is what percent from my dotted blue line down? 25, right? So I got to split 25 between the two of them. If I give orange 15% to make life easy, then I end up with 10 here, which means together green is 35% chance. Does that work? Okay, let's go with that. Based off this math, how many greens, purples, and oranges would you expect when we spin 6 times, 48 times, or 100 times? So go for the top couple minutes with your group. And we might just pick this up here tomorrow.
If I spun the spinner 1 time, 3 purple,
Orange could be like 0 or 1.
3 purple, 2 green, 1 orange. Citizen.
That would be like 3 purple. That's half of 60 would be.
I would do citizen.
What? Because half of 60 is 6. It's 3. So let's say probably 3 purple.
I've already drawn myself.
About 6.
And this is going to be exactly where we pick up tomorrow. Okay, so talking about our predictions of results, that will be where we start tomorrow. Thank you guys very much. Have a good one.
Can I turn that one?
Which? The missing ones? Yeah, don't turn in this week's, but the last week's ones, yeah, stick it in and I'll get those grades updated. Thank you, bud.